We are Random Respawn, and this is Random Recommendations, showing off games that are remarkable, relaxing, refreshing, radical, or just really, really fun. Hey everyone, Calebyte here. In this episode we're looking at Everspace, a roguelike space shooter. This is a game I never knew I needed until I played it. I'm not really a fan of simulator games, so I wasn't watching Everspace closely thinking that it fell into that genre. But man was I wrong. So very, very wrong. This is a beautifully fast and fluid roguelike with great controls, an exciting adventure, and interesting story in space. Developed by Rockfish Games, Everspace was released on May 25th, 2017 for $30 on PC and Xbox One. Now the first thing I want to talk about is how the game controls. I'm generally wary of flight controls that deal with thrust, anti-thrust, independent looking and aiming, stuff like that. Luckily for me, that is not Everspace. If you're looking for that simulator experience, look elsewhere. The controls are very responsive and have an arcade feel, not focused on realism at all. Your ship handles more like a car than a spaceship. It's hard to describe, but it works really well. I played with mouse and keyboard, so I can't comment on how it feels on a gamepad, but I've never felt more in control of a ship. I did have to tweak the sensitivity settings a bit because the default had me doing wild 360s with the slightest touch, but that could be a side effect of being designed for a VR experience. And even though I haven't bought into the VR craze yet, I would honestly love to give it a try on this game at some point. But rest assured, it still plays very well on the old-fashioned monitor. As with any roguelike, each run is randomized, and when you are met with the glorious explosion of death, you go back to the hangar and prepare for your next run. Here you use the credits you acquired to invest in new ships, core upgrades, or ship-specific improvements. And any unspent credits are lost when you start your next adventure. Out in the wondrous expanse of space, your objective is to collect what you can and survive to jump to the next area. Each jump uses a chunk of your fuel and thrusts you face first into an unpredictable situation. You might be greeted by a swarm of enemies, encounter a neutral trader ship, navigate a natural hazard, or observe a peaceful mining operation. You can attack anything you see, but keep in mind there are consequences for your actions. How you approach each scenario is up to you, but there is a lot of focus on combat, so you won't be able to avoid epic dogfights forever. When you do engage in battle, it's important to keep moving and use the appropriate weapons. Some guns are better against shields, others against exposed hull, and you have a number of consumables and equipment options to aid you, and don't be shy about using them. You can always craft more right from the menu. Locking onto your target will show you where to lead your shots and allow your secondary missiles to find their way. Damage you receive can disable specific components of your ship, making your life that much harder and requiring you to prioritize your repairs. On your journey, you'll need to gather fuel to safely complete your next jump, and any other resources collected can be used to upgrade or craft new equipment, repair damaged systems, or trade for other valuables. You'll also find weapons and consumables you can salvage or use, and blueprints that will expand your crafting options for all future runs. Anything collected and crafted other than the credits and blueprints, however, are lost on death. Now there is one mechanic that motivates your progress. This is a fleet of fighters hot on your tail. You have a limited amount of time to explore an area before they find you and fire all their bullets, lasers, and missiles in your direction. This is an ever-present stressor that keeps you on edge and can force unfavorable situations, and that's really where I think this game shines, when the proverbial feces hits the fan and you have to frantically improvise to stay alive. An interesting and nice addition to the genre is the storytelling. Typically, story isn't a main focus for roguelikes, but Everspace weaves it in by providing flashbacks and short cutscenes after death or upon reaching a new sector. It works really well, and it's interesting without being distracting. All in all, Everspace is very difficult, but also very fun. I really enjoy how the progression is handled, and exploring the beautiful environments is just delightful. Combat is fast and exciting, and that looming threat keeps you on your toes. If you enjoy challenging roguelikes, space shooters, anything of the sort, this is definitely one to check out. Thanks for tuning in to this installment of Random Recommendations. If you've played any of the games I've covered in the series, I'm really interested in hearing about your experience. If you'd like to make a suggestion for a future episode, leave a comment below, hit us up on Twitter @RandomRespawn, or come chat with me during a live stream. Whatever the method, I look forward to hearing from you. Take care, Calebyte out. I did have to tweak the sensitivity, ship specific. God, that's hard to say. Ship specific. Each jump uses a chunk of your. God, why? Each jump uses a chunk of your full. God